Hi, my name is Gloria Koretsky, and I did research on Dr. Christy Alligood. So, Dr. Alligood currently works at Disney's Animal Kingdom, and she's also an assistant professor at the Florida Institute of Technology. At Disney, she's part of the animal husbandry unit, mostly working with the wood rats, which I will talk about later. She's also a certified BCBA and has worked in multiple settings with children on the spectrum, which allows her to be president of the Applied Animal Behavior Special Interest Group, which is part of the Association for Behavior Analysis International. So before I go into more details, what is the Animal Husbandry Unit? Well, it is an animal management concept that promotes animal well-being by observing behaviors and subsequently improving their care and their behavioral needs. Are based on their behavioral needs. So the most important parts of the animal husbandry unit focus on training and enrichment of the animals. So her research, most of her research revolved around the key Largo wood rats and their reproductive behaviors and how mothers interacted with their newborns. She mostly worked with wood rats that were bred in captivity, and she has not had much of her research published, but I was able to find about 4 articles based on this exact research. So she and her team found that newborns that developed earlier than others, which is approximately 7 to 10 days compared to 11 to 19 days, also voluntarily detached from their mothers. They measure the days it took for the newborns to open their eyes as a way to establish their development. The usual detachment rate is about 30 days, but in this particular group, these newborns detached a little earlier. Unfortunately, she did not specify the amount of days earlier, but it was less than 30 days. So despite this one group, most of her research did find that most newborns developed at the same rate as long as they were attached to their mothers. So one of the publications I found did not look into wood rats' maternal behavior. Rather, it focused on vocal information. And I had never thought about wood rats, well, let alone I didn't even know what a wood rat was. So I didn't think, an animal would react to a certain vocalization in a different way. So I found this article particularly interesting. So Alligood and her colleagues used 4 different vocalizations: tonal calls, high squeaks, squeaks, and noisy or raspy vocalizations. They found that all 4 vocalizations were associated with the newborn's need or interactions between other newborns and their own mothers. So how does Alligood's research apply to ABA? Well, although it doesn't directly relate, it's very important to remember that a lot of beginning behavioral analysis did occur with animals instead of humans. And as we've been looking at Skinner this whole semester, so it's very important to bring him up and remember the fact that he did start with pigeons, and he used what he learned with their behaviors and their learning to attribute that to human behavior. Um, so the significance of her research. The research Alligood and her colleagues found with the development of their newborns and how long they were in their mother's care can be directly tied to how children develop with their mothers. So in many households, not discrediting any, but in many households, the mother, is the one who has the most time with the newborn, from breastfeeding, from nurturing, from caring, just to doing even daily things. The mother spends a lot more time with the newborn and is able to create that relationship and allow them to grow and nurture and develop along the way. So typical behavioral goals that Alligood's findings can help with in different animal settings would be to allow the zoos to train animals to participate in husbandry and medical procedures, arranging opportunities for them to engage in species typical behaviors, and encouraging them to spend time in areas where visitors can see them. So in a zoo setting, that would work perfectly, where the animals can do so in a safe and least harmful way, and we can see them in their natural environment or somewhat natural environment. Alligood's findings allow zoologists and zookeepers and anyone really who works with animals to learn that animal behavior isn't much different than human behavior, and Knowing this information can allow the caretakers to teach and train animals in a way that can be successful and, most importantly, the least harmful for both the animal and the human. So these are just some of the things I used, and that's mostly my research on Christina Alligood. Thank you.